Today I've made a special video just for you, the viewer. We're going to uncover the secrets to keep your laying hens laying like champions, even in the coldest, wettest months. You might know what I'm talking about, and I invite you to take notes, as it's always good to refresh your knowledge on this important topic. And if you're just starting with laying hen farming, pay close attention and watch the video until the end because it will be very helpful. We know that climate is a determining factor in egg production. Raising chickens in a snowy winter in Canada or the United States, where temperatures can drop drastically below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius, and cover everything in white, is not the same as in many regions of Latin America, where temperatures don't drop as severely. And here's the key point, that change in temperature and increase in humidity directly affect our chickens. Just as we look for an extra coat when the weather gets cold, our birds also expend more energy to keep their bodies warm. This energy, which they previously dedicated to egg production, is now redirected to thermoregulation, which can lead to a noticeable decrease in laying. Furthermore, excessive humidity in the coop can lead to health problems, further impacting their performance. To top it off, in extremely cold climates, it's vital to protect chickens' combs and wattles with petroleum jelly or specific protective ointments for poultry to prevent frostbite when you have laying hen breeds or lines with long combs. The good news is that, no matter where you are, with the right adjustments and strategies, you can help your chickens overcome winter and maintain enviable egg production. From climates with snow and frost to those with persistent rain and moderate cold, the key is adapting conditions to their environment. And that's precisely why I've prepared a list of the 20 most important points to achieve maximum egg production in winter, no matter where you are. Get ready to take notes and transform your coop into an egg factory. Let's get started. 1. Coop insulation. Thermal insulation of the chicken coop is your hen's first line of defense against the cold. Think of your coop like your own home. If it has cracks or isn't well sealed, heat escapes and cold easily gets in. This forces birds to expend valuable metabolic energy on maintaining their body temperature, energy they should be using to form those perfect eggs. To achieve effective insulation, it's crucial to conduct a thorough inspection of the structure. Check every wall, the roof, and even the floor for any small openings, cracks, or gaps where cold air might filter in. Once identified, these areas must be meticulously sealed with insulating materials like rigid foam panels, layers of plywood, or even compacted straw or hay bales, which are economical and very efficient options. In addition to the walls and roof, don't forget the importance of the door and windows, if you have them. Make sure they close tightly to prevent drafts, which are especially harmful. A well-sealed and insulated coop not only keeps chickens warmer, but also contributes to a drier, more comfortable environment, reducing thermal stress and boosting their laying capacity. 2. Adequate ventilation. While the idea of a warm coop sounds ideal, it's crucial not to confuse insulation with a lack of ventilation. Sealing the coop hermetically in winter, thinking you'll retain all the heat, is a common mistake that can have negative consequences for your bird's health. Ventilation is vital to renew the air and eliminate humidity and harmful gases. The accumulation of humidity inside the coop, a product of the bird's respiration and their waste, creates an environment conducive to the development of bacteria and fungi, as well as the proliferation of respiratory diseases. Likewise, a lack of air exchange allows gases like ammonia from manure decomposition to concentrate at toxic levels. These gases can irritate chickens' respiratory systems, affecting their health and, consequently, their production capacity. Therefore, the key is strategic ventilation. Openings should be ensured at the top of the coop, near the roof, known as ridge ventilation, and some lower ones, but never directly at bird level or in areas where they create drafts over the birds. The goal is to allow a constant exit of stale, humid air and the entry of fresh air, without exposing the chickens to direct gusts that could chill them. 3. Deep and clean litter. Deep litter isn't just a decorative base in the coop, it's a vital strategy for your chicken's comfort and health in winter. A generous layer of absorbent material, such as thick wood shavings or wheat straw, not only insulates the birds from the cold ground, but also facilitates a natural composting process of waste, generating heat gradually. For this deep litter to fulfill its insulating function and contribute to heating, it must be considerably thick, ideally between 6 to 12 inches, 15 to 30 centimeters. This natural mattress absorbs moisture from manure and, through the action of microorganisms, slowly decomposes, releasing a subtle warmth that helps maintain a more stable and comfortable temperature for the chickens, especially during frosty nights. In addition to the thermal benefit, clean and dry litter is fundamental to preventing health problems in the bird's feet and plumage. The accumulation of moisture and dirt encourages the growth of bacteria, fungi, and parasites that can cause diseases. Therefore, it's essential to regularly remove the wetter or compacted top layers and add fresh material to maintain the litter in optimal condition, thus ensuring a hygienic environment conducive to laying. 4. Supplemental lighting. One of the biggest challenges for egg production in winter is the natural decrease in daylight hours. Chickens, in their physiology, need a minimum of 12 to 16 hours of light daily to stimulate their ovaries and maintain optimal laying rates. With the arrival of winter, days shorten, and if this lack of light isn't compensated, egg production is very likely to drop drastically or even stop completely. To counteract this effect, supplemental lighting is a very effective tool. Using artificial lights, preferably low-wattage LED bulbs, around 25 to 40 watts, is an economical and energy-efficient solution. It's important that the light isn't excessively bright, just enough to simulate daylight and activate the hormonal processes that regulate ovulation in hens. The implementation of timers is key to maintaining a constant and predictable light schedule. Ideally, turn on the lights early in the morning, before dawn, to extend the hours of light until the minimum required is reached. This simulates a longer day, tricking the hen's reproductive system into continuing to operate at peak efficiency, thus ensuring more consistent laying during the darker months. 5. Comfortable temperature. Not excessive. Maintaining a comfortable ambient temperature inside the coop is crucial for hens to direct their energy to egg production rather than thermoregulation. However, you must avoid the mistake of overheating the coop. Chickens have a remarkable ability to adapt to cold if given the right environment, and overheating could make them more sensitive to sudden temperature changes when going outside, making them more prone to colds and other illnesses. The ideal comfort range for laying hens is between 45 degrees Fahrenheit and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius, and 24 degrees Celsius. Within this range, birds can maintain their body temperature without expending too much energy. Below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, they start investing more resources in producing heat, which reduces the energy available for egg formation. Above 75 degrees Fahrenheit, they can suffer from heat stress, another factor that negatively impacts laying. While heating isn't always necessary, in climates where temperatures drop to extreme levels, near or below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, using supplementary heat sources like infrared heat lamps or radiant panels can be beneficial. Nevertheless, these must be used with extreme caution to avoid fire risks and ensure they are not directly exposed to the chickens, causing burns or localized heat stress. 6. Access to fresh, not too cold water. Hydration is, without a doubt, one of the fundamental pillars for successful egg production, and in winter this aspect becomes critically important. Chickens need constant and unlimited access to fresh, clean water, as eggs are mostly composed of water. If a hen becomes dehydrated, even slightly, her egg production will be immediately affected. The main challenge in cold climates is that water tends to get too cold, even freezing quickly in very cold climates. A frozen or very cold waterer is useless to the birds, and if they can't hydrate, their reproductive system will slow down or stop. Therefore, it's essential to check waterers several times a day to ensure the water is liquid and accessible. To prevent freezing, there are several practical solutions. From changing the water very frequently, morning, noon, and evening, to investing in heated electric waterers or heated bases specifically designed for poultry. Another more rustic option is to place saltwater bottles, which take longer to freeze, inside the waterers, although active heating remains the most effective to ensure a continuous and uninterrupted supply. 7. High-quality, higher-energy feed. In winter, chickens need more calories than in other seasons, as a significant portion of their energy is directed to thermogenesis, meaning keeping themselves warm. Therefore, high-quality, higher-energy feed becomes a crucial factor in maintaining their productivity. It's not just about quantity, but about the nutritional composition of the feed we provide. It's essential that the base feed is a layer feed specifically formulated for laying hens, with a protein content of between 16 and 18%. Proteins are the building blocks of eggs, and a deficiency at this time can seriously limit laying. Furthermore, quality feed ensures an adequate balance of essential vitamins and minerals for overall health and reproductive function. To provide an extra boost of energy and animal protein, something omnivorous chickens appreciate, we can supplement their diet with cooked meat scraps, animal fat, or even mealworms. It's also recommended to offer a handful of whole grains, like corn or wheat, just before they roost for the night. The digestion of these slower energy grains generates internal heat, which helps them stay warm during the dark hours. 8. Nutritional supplements. In addition to a high-quality base diet, strategic nutritional supplementation is a fundamental pillar for winter egg production. Chickens' requirements increase with the cold, as they need more energy and nutrients to maintain their metabolism active and continue forming eggs. In this context, calcium and additional protein are vitally important. Calcium is the most critical mineral for eggshell formation. If chickens don't receive enough calcium in their diet, they will draw from their own bone reserves, which long-term weakens them and can lead to the production of soft-shelled eggs or even cessation of laying. Therefore, there should always be a supplementary calcium source available, such as oyster grit or clean, crushed eggshells, for birds to consume free choice. Likewise, the inclusion of small, insoluble stones is essential. Chickens don't have teeth, and these stones are stored in the gizzard, where they help grind grain feed and other larger particles, facilitating digestion and nutrient absorption, including the additional proteins and calcium we are providing. Ensuring good digestion maximizes the utilization of all energetic nutrients necessary for winter production. 9. Stress reduction. Stress is a silent and powerful enemy of egg production in chickens. Any factor that disrupts their routine or causes them discomfort can lead to a drastic decrease or even total cessation of laying. In winter, when conditions are already naturally more challenging, minimizing any additional source of stress becomes absolutely crucial. Sudden changes in the environment, such as frequently moving the coop, introducing new birds without proper quarantine and gradual introduction, or drastically altering the internal layout of the space, can generate a high level of anxiety in the flock. Chickens are creatures of habit, and a stable routine provides them with security. Maintaining a consistent feeding and lighting schedule, and limiting unnecessary visits or interruptions in their space, contributes enormously to a calm environment. Consequently, a predictable and secure environment reduces the level of cortisol, the stress hormone, in chickens, allowing their reproductive system to function without inhibition. Providing them with safe refuges, avoiding loud and sudden noises, and ensuring each bird has enough space to move, eat, and drink without aggressive competition are measures that promote their psychological well-being and, therefore, their ability to maintain consistent egg production, even under the pressures of winter. 10. Frequent egg collection. Frequent egg collection is a practice that becomes vitally important during the winter months, not only for keeping nests clean but primarily for preserving the integrity of the eggs. In sub-zero temperatures, eggs freeze very quickly. A frozen egg expands, and its shell cracks, rendering it unusable for consumption and vulnerable to bacterial contamination. By collecting eggs several times a day, especially in the morning and late afternoon, we minimize the risk of them being damaged by extreme cold. This practice not only protects the final product, but also prevents hens from accidentally pecking at or eating frozen or broken eggs, an undesirable habit that can be difficult to eradicate once acquired. In addition to protecting the eggs, consistent collection also helps keep nests unoccupied and attractive for the next lay. Clean, available nests encourage hens to continue using them and to maintain their laying cycle, contributing to more regular production. It's a simple but effective action that directly impacts the quality and quantity of the daily harvest. 11. Provide a protected dust bath. A dust bath is a fundamental physiological and behavioral need for chickens, equivalent to our daily shower. It allows them to clean their plumage, remove external parasites like mites and lice, and maintain healthy skin. In winter, when the outdoor ground may be frozen, wet, or covered in snow, it's crucial that they have access to a dry and protected area to perform this important activity. If chickens cannot take their dust bath, their hygiene will be compromised, increasing the likelihood of parasitic infestations. An infested bird expends energy fighting parasites instead of producing eggs, in addition to suffering from itching, irritation, and stress. Therefore, providing them with an adequate space to dust themselves is an essential preventative measure that directly contributes to their overall health and well-being, which translates into better laying. To implement this, simply designate a dry area inside the coop or in a covered, protected zone, filling it with a mixture of fine dirt, play sand, and a little untreated wood ash or food-grade diatomaceous earth. Make sure the area is large enough for several chickens to bathe comfortably at once, and always keep it dry and clean so they can enjoy their winter spa. 12. Limited outdoor access. Warm days. Although winter requires chickens to stay inside the coop more often, it's beneficial to allow them limited outdoor access on warmer, sunnier days. Chickens by nature are curious and exploratory animals that enjoy foraging, pecking, and scratching the ground. This outdoor activity not only keeps them active and stimulated, but also contributes to their physical and mental well-being. In regions with severe winters, where temperatures can range between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius, a brief period outdoors can be an excellent opportunity for them. Ensure that the outdoor area is safe and clear of snow or ice, offering firm ground where they can move comfortably. Even a few minutes of sun exposure and fresh air can revitalize them and improve their mood, which indirectly favors laying. However, it's essential that this access is controlled and monitored. Avoid exposing them to cold drafts, rain, or excessive humidity. The idea is to provide them with a recess in optimal conditions, not to subject them to thermal stress. Once temperatures drop or the weather worsens, they should be guided back to the comfort and security of their well-insulated coop. 13. Elevated roosting. Roosts or elevated perches are an indispensable element in any chicken coop, but their importance is accentuated in winter. Chickens instinctively seek to perch on high points to sleep, as this protects them from predators in nature. In a coop, this behavior allows them to escape the cold of the ground, which tends to be the coldest and most humid part of the enclosure. By sleeping on perches, chickens take advantage of their own body heat. They huddle together, allowing heat to transfer between them and be conserved under their plumage. This creates a kind of collective blanket that helps them stay warm during the long, cold winter nights, minimizing the energy they would expend trying to warm their bodies if they were sleeping directly on the ground. Make sure the perches are wide and sturdy enough to support the weight of all chickens, and that they are made of a material that won't cause foot injuries. It's crucial that there's enough space for each bird to perch comfortably without overcrowding excessively, but close enough to benefit from mutual warmth. The ideal height is between 18 to 24 inches, 45 to 60 centimeters from the ground, allowing good air circulation underneath and preventing cold from being transmitted. 14. Protection from drafts and wind. One of the most insidious threats to chicken health in winter is direct drafts and wind. Unlike consistent, generalized cold, drafts are localized gusts of cold air that can penetrate birds' plumage, causing rapid cooling and stress. This localized chilling makes them extremely vulnerable to colds, bronchitis, and other respiratory diseases, which will quickly impact their egg production. To effectively protect your birds, it's fundamental that the coop is strategically located. Whenever possible, place the structure in a sheltered spot from the prevailing wind, perhaps behind a building, a wall, or a dense row of trees. This acts as a natural barrier that deflects stronger gusts and reduces direct exposure. In addition to location, meticulously check the coop for any small cracks, holes, or gaps where air might sneak in. Cracks in the walls, around windows and doors, or even in the roof should be sealed without delay. Remember, the goal is to prevent cold air from directly hitting the chickens while maintaining adequate ventilation at the top for air exchange. 15. Health monitoring. Constant and attentive monitoring of your chicken's health is crucial in any season, but it becomes critically important during winter. Adverse weather conditions, stress from cold or humidity, and changes in diet can weaken birds' immune systems, making them more susceptible to diseases. A sick hen not only stops laying, but can also infect the rest of the flock, compromising entire production. Observe your chickens daily, paying attention to any changes in their behavior or appearance. Signs like lethargy, lack of energy, unusually ruffled feathers when not sleeping, nasal discharge or sneezing, watery eyes, pale or abnormally colored comb or wattles, diarrhea or changes in stool consistency, or a sudden decrease in food or water consumption are red flags that require immediate attention. Early detection of any health problem is key to successful intervention. Immediately isolate any bird showing signs of illness to prevent spread. Consult an avian veterinarian if you have doubts, and remember that a healthy chicken is a productive chicken. Keeping a record of daily egg production can also quickly alert you to any drop that might indicate an underlying problem. 16. Consider the age of the hens. The age of the hens is an unalterable biological factor that significantly influences their laying capacity, and this influence becomes more evident in winter. Hens reach their peak production during their first year of laying, approximately between 12 and 18 months of age. From that point on, their production gradually decreases. Generally, after the first year of laying, egg production can decrease by 10% to 20% each subsequent year. This decrease is a natural process of the hen's reproductive aging. Therefore, if most of your hens are older, it's normal for winter production to be even lower, even with all necessary precautions. To maintain a high egg production rate throughout the year, especially in winter, many poultry farmers plan to renew their flock. This involves replacing older hens, after 1 or 2 years of laying, with young birds that are about to begin their laying cycle or are already at their first peak. In this way, a constant flow of highly efficient layers is ensured. 17. Avoid excessive humidity. Excessive humidity is one of the greatest enemies of avian health and egg production in winter, especially in regions where rainy periods are prolonged. A humid and cold environment inside the coop is the perfect breeding ground for a series of problems, from chronic respiratory diseases to the growth of fungi and bacteria that can cause infections in chickens' feet and skin. Moisture accumulation can come from several sources: condensation from bird respiration, water spills from waterers, or lack of absorption in inadequate or saturated litter. A humid coop is not only unhealthy but also makes the cold feel much more intense, as humid air conducts body heat more quickly, increasing thermal stress in chickens and forcing them to expend more energy to warm themselves. To combat humidity, it's fundamental to keep the coop as dry as possible. This means ensuring adequate ventilation, as mentioned before, cleaning water spills immediately, and above all, maintaining a deep and dry litter. If the litter becomes saturated, it's necessary to remove the wetter areas and add fresh, absorbent material. Also consider elevating the coop from the ground to prevent rising dampness. 18. Feeders that protect feed. In the coop environment, and even more so during winter with its humidity and potential precipitation, feeders that protect the feed are essential. Leaving feed exposed to the elements or to humidity inside the coop quickly turns it into a breeding ground for bacteria, mold, and fungi. Consuming contaminated feed can not only make chickens seriously ill, but also reduces intake and nutrient absorption, directly impacting their production. A well-designed feeder should keep the feed dry and clean, protecting it from rain, snow, ambient humidity, and, crucially, from the chicken's own droppings. Various types exist on the market, from models with protective roofs for outdoor use, to tube or hopper feeders that dispense feed gradually and minimize contact with the ground or water. By ensuring that the feed remains in optimal condition, we not only prevent digestive diseases but also ensure that chickens consume all the nutrition they need to stay healthy and productive. Remember that feed quality is vital for the energy they need in winter. If the feed is spoiled, all the effort of providing a high-energy diet is lost. 19. Environmental enrichment. Environmental enrichment might seem like a luxury, but in reality it's a very effective strategy for chickens' well-being and productivity, especially when they are confined by winter cold. A monotonous and unstimulated environment can lead to boredom, stress, and undesirable behaviors like feather pecking or cannibalism. Active and mentally stimulated chickens are generally happier and more productive chickens. Offering them toys or simple activities can make a big difference. This can include hanging cabbage or lettuce for them to peck at, scattering grains in the deep litter for them to scratch and forage, simulating natural foraging, or even installing mirrors or shiny objects that capture their attention. The key is to provide them with something that keeps them busy and encourages their natural seeking and exploratory behaviors. In addition to reducing boredom, environmental enrichment also contributes to physical health by promoting activity. Chickens that move and explore are less prone to obesity and maintain better muscle condition. Ultimately, a stimulating and varied environment translates into reduced stress, better overall health, and, therefore, a higher likelihood of maintaining consistent egg production during the challenging winter months. 20. Cold-hardy high-laying breeds and commercial lines. The choice of chicken breed or commercial line is a fundamental factor that can influence egg production during winter, especially in cold climates. Some birds are genetically predisposed to tolerate low temperatures better and maintain a good laying rate even in adverse conditions. Opting for these varieties can greatly simplify winter management and ensure greater efficiency. Chickens with more robust bodies, dense plumage, and smaller combs or wattles, which are less prone to frostbite, are usually the most suitable for cold climates. In this context, commercial high-laying lines have been specifically selected and bred to maximize egg production under various conditions, including some resistance to thermal stress. Look for lines that are known to produce more than 200 eggs per year and demonstrate good adaptability. Among the most recommended options for high-laying and cold hardiness, we highlight Highline Brown. These are commercial hybrids recognized worldwide for their very high production of brown eggs, often exceeding 300 per year, and their great adaptability to different environments, which includes good cold tolerance. Isa Brown. Another very popular commercial hybrid line, outstanding for its excellent production of brown eggs, also above 300 per year, and its general robustness, which makes them very hardy. Lohman Brown. Recognized worldwide for its consistency in laying brown eggs, exceeding 300 per year, and its great vitality and resilience, even in winter conditions. Wyandotte. A robust pure breed with thick plumage, a good layer of brown eggs, around 200 to 250 per year, and adapts well to cold climates. Sussex. a traditional dual-purpose breed, strong, with dense plumage, that consistently lays cream to light brown eggs, around 200 to 250 per year, and is very cold-hardy. Choosing the right breed can be the starting point for a productive flock all year round, even in the most challenging months. With these 20 key points, you're ready to face any winter and help your chickens continue producing those delicious fresh eggs we all love so much. Remember, success in poultry farming isn't magic, it's dedication and knowledge. Adapting your chickens' conditions to the local climate is fundamental for their well-being, and of course, for their production. If this content has been helpful, don't forget to give it a big like. Share this video with other chicken lovers so this valuable information reaches more people. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos on farm life, sustainability, and much more. We'd love to hear about your own experiences. Leave a comment below telling us your best tips for maintaining egg production in winter. Which of these points did you find most useful? Do you have any extra tips we didn't mention? The community learns from everyone. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.